Morning, everyone. Today's topic is solving for the variable x, or it can be actually any letter, using addition and subtraction. So all of the problems that you're going to get today are going to look like this. They will have a variable, something like x plus 5 equals 9. So we want to get x by itself. So therefore, your first step is to find the number either being added or subtracted from x. In this case, the number that is on the same side that's being added or subtracted to x is the plus 5. So, in order to get rid of any number associated with x using addition or subtraction, you need to find the additive inverse. So, find the opposite. Remember that word we had earlier in the semester? This is the same thing as the additive inverse of the number. So, the opposite of plus 5 is minus 5. So if I subtract 5 from this side, the golden rule says I have to subtract 5 from the other side. Plus 5 minus 5 are going to cancel each other out, and all that leaves me on this side is the x. 9 minus 5 on that side leaves me 4. So now we have solved for x. X equals 4. So some of the problems you'll be adding a number to x. So the additive inverse will be a negative of that number. In other problems, you'll be subtracting something from x. But the process still stays the same. Find the number being added to or subtracted from x. Negative 4 is being subtracted from x. So what is the opposite of negative 4? It's a plus 4. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Minus 4 and plus 4 cancel each other out. So now all that's left on my one side is x. I add up the other side. 9 and 4 give me 13. Now typically when we see problems, the x is going to be on the left-hand side, but it doesn't have to be. So remember, I didn't say in the instructions, find the number on the left side. I said find the number associated with x. So if you were to have it the other way around, 4 equals x plus 3. Remember, we want to find that number that is associated with x. The x is now on the right-hand side, so the plus 3 is now the number being added or subtracted from x. The opposite of plus 3 is minus 3. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So plus 3 and minus 3 are going to always cancel each other out. Because opposites are the same distance from 0, whenever you add opposites, you automatically will then get 0. X is now by itself, and 4 minus 3 will get us 1. The other thing you have to be thinking about is it doesn't matter if we get negative numbers. So some of you I know are not all that happy with negative numbers, but they're still just as good as any other number. If we were to have something like x plus 9 equals 3, once again, let's do this the same way. The number that is being added to or subtracted from the x is a plus 9. So therefore the opposite is minus 9. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Plus 9 and minus 9 are going to cancel each other out, leaving me x by itself. And then 3 minus 9 gives me a negative 6. So don't forget how to add and subtract integers. It could be something that goes the other way. Let's say we had x minus 5 equals -1. We're still going to deal with a number that is associated with the x. So we have a minus 5. The opposite of the minus 5 is a plus 5. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Minus 5 and plus 5 will cancel each other out. X then equals a positive 4. Because if you start at -1 and move 5 units to the right, you will be at a plus 4. Hope this helps you with today's homework.